Hello everybody, Spaceboy99 here, back at you with another banger of a video. And what I want to lead with today is that I conceived my daughter in a leg brace. My wife referred to me as paralyzed at the time. I wasn't paralyzed, but I do still limp on that leg. It was pretty bad. And I couldn't move. I could barely move. But I got it done. And we have our daughter. And see, it didn't require any complex kind of move or advanced positioning or try this or try that. It was basically, yeah, you can barely move, but you're there, you're married, you do want to have a kid, so you just go through the motions even though you can't move your leg, and it hurts if you try. And it's like, but I still have a daughter, and that's a whole heck of a lot than I was ever gonna have. I don't mind not having more kids. It's just, but I'm not sure that I could have taken not ever having any. Um, these guys who don't have any kids, and who've resigned to not having any kids because of American women or something, or I mean, I feel for them, but at the same time, you know, I if I hadn't been much of a traveler myself, I can understand being one of them. I have a daughter now primarily because I have always been a traveler, and well, in some places of the world it's just much easier to just get married and have a kid. And that's actually always been my kink, you could say. But even international Asians, but the thing is, all of the even East Asians that I ever had a relationship with, they ended up not really being the kind of girl that you would fetishize as an Asian. They were just, just there, and it just happens. It's just, they weren't homely or anything. It's just that, anybody I was in a relationship with long term tended to not be what I fetishistically went there for. That's not to say I never had purely gratifying hedonism, but for relationships. So when you're on semen retention, okay, you're gonna cut out a lot of things in your life that you don't need, that are just pleasure based, that everybody just feels like they have to do, but they're fruitless. Or you feel like you have to do that to prove that you're attractive or something. You don't really. Like for example, if you hear about a guy like Michael Douglas or something who's the addiction, and he has all these ladies and is able to get away with it. When it really comes down to it, are you really jealous of all that humping away he's doing when you think about it? I mean, no. No, or like if you hear about some other guy who's, just jacking away at a computer screen, are you jealous of what he's doing? And no, you're not jealous, and you're not jealous of these men you hear of who it seems like can just spend all their free time just humping away on chicks. You're not really jealous of what they're doing, are you? I hope not. It's just I mean, I could be wrong, but typically I don't think you are. I think most people are pretty normal to where it's like, if I can conceive my daughter in a leg brace where I can barely move and I just do it anyway, it's like, what is the point of all that useless, fruitless banging away marathon style that I had ever done before? It doesn't produce one child. Not a single relationship lasts. Not a single thing you're proud of. And you would really be better off meditating, being a monk, pursuing science, dedicating your life to something, instead of all this humping away at the club, drinking, pursuing. It's like samsara. Like the meat cycle, the pleasure wheel. But we can't keep doing that. And then finally, I stopped drinking. I I don't bang around, and I don't miss it, but it's like it's almost like something that maybe karmically you have to go through. Well, actually, you don't really have to, but anyway, guys, the but even if, say, for example, you're on pleasure islands and you can have what you want, so to speak, whatever you want. Believe it or not, I think there are still some things, and it's different for everybody which things they are and stuff, but there are some things you won't do. And you might not know what they are, you might not know why, you may not know that you weren't going to, even before other people do. There was a chick who had some procedures, obviously, that I had the chance to bang, and I was with her on the town that whole night, and it was pretty clear that I could bang her, and I didn't. And I didn't know that I wasn't going to, but I think that they they can sense when you're the kind of guy who they might have lost access to when they had the procedures and went fake. They know that about you before you do. You think you're on Pleasure Island, say, and I mean you are, but you're still you, right? You can't, you can be in Pleasure Island, but you can't put Pleasure Island in you. So it was to where I could turn this. I could even leave the bar, and I could go. I went and got a sandwich for like a half hour or something. Came back. There was some other guy with her, but and he So I was just resuming the date, and um, so he shook my hand like as if to say, "I'm with her now." Uh, you know, I'm offering you as a gentleman to just go away because I'm with her now. Let's shake on it. So I shook his hand and then just resumed my date. And he was chagrined, but I don't know why. It's like in a way it's all as if you have something to prove or something, but there really isn't anything to prove and you don't get anything. And to make a long story short, I got as far as this girl's hotel room, and she's, obviously fake, kind of exaggerated. It's not necessarily that I don't like that, it's that I don't want to sleep with a science experiment, and I don't want to be seen around town with, I don't want to be that guy who's with that chick with the bobs. No. It just, I really, by the time I got to that chick's hotel room, and she was on the bed, and I was in the doorway, and I just said, yeah, I gotta go, and I just turned away, and she looked like she was really not expecting that, but at the same time, I think that chick stayed with me for as long as she did, because I really seemed like the kind of guy who might turn her down at the door, at the bedroom door, because I'm the kind of guy she lost access to when she had the procedure. You see, procedures. And I think people can't stand that. Okay, they want to be sure that they're not losing you. But I think that what semen retention does is that it allows you to be comfortable with being ignored for long enough that you gain the power over situations that you didn't notice before, where people are really afraid that they're going to lose you. But you unconsciously assure them that, in fact, they still, you don't know what you're doing, but because you yourself are afraid of being ignored and you have these insecurities, you immediately tell them that they'll always have you, and you're just hanging on and trying to be part of it and not be ignored yourself. But semen retention allows the tables to turn to where people are afraid they might lose you because you're comfortable with being ignored. Those kinds of things come to you more. But should you take everything that comes your way on Pleasure Islands? No. Because it's possible to conceive your child in a leg brace after years of banging away, different chicks, drinking, and all this meaningless, fruitless stuff that is not going to give you anything, even fond memories in your later years. It just would. Guys, semen retention will allow you to stop catering to your pleasure centers. Semen retention will allow you to really Be the one that they're afraid they're losing. And then that'll give you everything that you need to live your own life by your own terms and quietly just get the things that you need. But yeah, if you're just chasing tail, but I guess that's not even happening anymore. I think guys are wanking it. Which I've done a lot myself too, but and I'm not saying that's better. I I I I think see I think that when it's real, you can get sick of it a lot faster. Hopefully not literally sick, but you can get tired of it faster. And see when it's fake, when it's on the screen fake, um you know, when it's on the screen fake, typically it's already on the screen, so there's no need to turn anything down because it's fake. It's all fake, right? So, and on the screen, it never, there's never the downsides. There's this saying: no matter how hot she is, there's somebody somewhere who's sick of her crap. And when they're just on screen, it doesn't really give you the chance to get sick of their crap. It When it's on screen, it doesn't give you the chance to, realize that they pass gas in the morning. They go to the bathroom too. They're fussy. They get in moods. They they're not always pleasant. They test you. There's all these things with a real girl. Um, and you do have to physically be in position and keep going. Even if you're not having any problems with your hardware, which I wasn't. Even in that case, I mean, in terms of exercise, it's healthy and everything, but you have to keep it. You could just exercise though, but you have to keep going, physically in a certain position. It's not like you're on a laptop or on your phone. Even I don't use phones, but it's not like you can just turn it off. Um, you know what I mean? And it's first person, of course. Why do I have to describe this? Because I feel like a lot of guys out there are confusing the screen with you know with the real thing. Like, even if she's just a nasty, naughty girl who's just completely up for everything, she's still, not as. You can't press pause. You can't. You can't close the screen. You can't. Like. All of this stuff that is on the screen, it's in corn. It's not real. Guys, I'm just trying to keep going. I don't care if I'm ignored. I'm gonna do my YouTube channel every day. If they don't like it, if a video doesn't get watched, whatever. I'm on Semen Retention. I have the energy now. I can start reading books. I can just keep going and going. I can explain, I can keep building up my thesis of my channel over weeks and months with 0 to little views, and I don't care, because you know what happens? YouTube buries your mistakes. They don't care. If you don't get watched, that means nobody knows about you. You just don't get watched. So why would you care about that? They're not going to make a meme out of you. That would be too flattering. They're not going to give you anything negative, even, because there's nothing negative they can do. It's all engagement. It's all. Look, the worst that could happen is really nothing. Even though it seems like, oh, you're getting yourself out there very risky, it's not. It doesn't. Sure, it might. You might accidentally say something that follows you for years, but man, who cares? Most likely scenario is they never know who you are. Even if they see you, they don't care. If they don't watch, they just don't watch. Nobody even knows who you are, man. You're Spaceboy99 or whoever. They don't care. You, if they like it, they like it. If they subscribe, they subscribe. But really, why should they? It's just a dude with a video camera with zero effort. All he does is just keep insisting on recording every day. Who cares? Alright, guys, cheers.